Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Rube Goldberg Minecraft Challenges of 2024. We are excited to share some resources with you. We know you all love these challenges, but we don't want to just say, go out there and wing it. We want to equip you. And so that is what these videos are all about. Jennifer, you are our connection with Rube Goldberg. So can you tell us what this year's challenge is?
The source from us at the Rube Goldberg Institute, this year's competition is to put toothpaste on a toothbrush in Minecraft.
Awesome. And also, you know, in the real world.
You should, yeah, 4 out of 5.
That's
different.
Yes, practice in the real world and then do it in Minecraft.
Right, build those skills.
Good point. Excellent point.
And in order to make that happen, you know, this is the 4th year we've been doing this competition. So we've got lots of resources teaching students about the simple machines. There are slide decks, there are video content, and we want to see their understanding of those simple machines be part of their build. Because if we go foundational enough, that is what every Rube Goldberg machine breaks down to.
And pretty much every machine in the entire world.
I think that's fair.
Simple machines at its core.
Built in.
Exactly.
Yep. So, but one thing you don't find in Minecraft is all these simple machines just sitting around ready for you to plug them in. So you have to be clever and creative and come up with solutions for how are you going to make these machines happen in Minecraft? What kind of creative solutions are you going to come up with to make these simple machines? So we can't wait to see what you create.
Not only creative, but also funny and engaging and all the things
ridiculous.
that make up a Rube Goldberg.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. The more ridiculous, the better. Awesome. So please watch these videos, learn how to make the 6 simple machines, and we cannot wait to see all of your creations.
So we are going to talk about the incline plane today, and that's what Steve and I and Mike are going to model building in Minecraft for you today. And hopefully the students will get to use that in their builds. So first thing, and shout out to Jennifer and her team. The art that has been provided is phenomenal. We've got all these, I mean, Rube was a cartoonist, and we've got cartoonists providing us with examples of these simple machines, and they're adorable. But as you can see here, a simple machine is any of several devices with more or no moving parts that are, or few or no moving parts, sorry, that are used to modify motion and force to perform work. Essentially, very simply, they are simple machines that make our lives easier by making the amount of force or the duration of that force change to make work easier. And here we see, well, 7 examples. We're going to combine this into 6. There's always that debate as to whether the wheel and axle should go together. We're going to combine them for the sessions, of course. So whichever you prefer, we're with you. Don't worry. We won't split hairs on that one. Of course, to understand that, we do need to know what a force is. And if we're looking at this on the most fundamental of levels, we're basically saying that a force is a push or a pull or some action that is causing motion in an object. Of course, that only occurs while that interaction is taking place. The 2 objects no longer experience that force once the interaction stops. So all of these are going to, in some way, relay or talk about how we are utilizing force in order to change motion and utilizing simple machines to make that motion easier. So let's talk about incline planes, right? So an incline plane is used to help move a heavy object up a certain height. And if you look at this photo, the first thing that probably comes to mind, and you would be 100% right, is a ramp, right? So we have ramps that we utilize all the time, and we'll look at some real world examples in just a moment. But the goal of a ramp is essentially to take an object from a low point and move it to a high point with relative ease. Of course, that can be done in reverse as well, because it can make it easier to lower the height of an object or change the direction of that object. Who knew that a ramp was an example of an incline plane? I have a feeling some people in this chat knew that, Mr. Isaac. That's why they're here. So what is an incline plane? It is a simple machine that is used to spread out the force needed to move an object. And we can think about this. It would be much harder for me to pick up a heavy box off a floor and load it into a very tall truck. But if I got a ramp, even though I'm moving a greater distance as I walk up that ramp to the back of the truck, I am spreading out that force. So I'm not required to use all that force at once. And it makes that work easier. And here's an example of that. So they work by using a long surface to create a ramp where one side is higher than the other. And of course, objects can be moved up or down that ramp. Moving an object gradually over a longer distance is easier than lifting it by hand. And this is exactly what I was mentioning. So here we see some of that vocabulary. The force is what's pushing that box, let's say, up the ramp. The load is the force of gravity, in this case, acting upon that object, giving it weight. And of course, we want it to get up the ramp, and this would be much easier than lifting it straight off the ground and trying to load it up onto a higher surface. And of course, sometimes it's nearly impossible because that higher surface is simply far too high. So, you could jump all you want. It's not going to happen. So let's talk about some examples. I wonder, while we're doing this, and people are going to have some fast fingers, what are some examples, you could throw them into the chat, of some incline planes that you know or that you can think of right now? Just throw them in the chat. Go crazy. And I'll throw some examples up on the screen. A handicap ramp. Absolutely. Yeah, we love the notion of using it to make people's lives easier, especially when there is a need for that. Right? Roller coaster is a good one. Someone's been playing Minecraft. They know where this is going. So here are some examples. I really love the picture in this one of the boat ramp because my first thought was, wow, it's so much easier to get the boat up out of the water. But then I thought about getting the boat in the water. You wouldn't want to just take the boat and drop it from 10 feet up, right? So gradually lowering it down that ramp is also making that job easier and safer, if you will. I mean, I'm sure we have some students watching who would want to be in a boat that is just plummeting into the water, but not a good idea.
That doesn't seem safe, Eric.
No, it doesn't. No. Wear a helmet. Or just, don't do it. Don't try this at home. So stairs, for example, are one that doesn't come up often, but they are, so someone did mention stairs, and I saw Mr. Isaac said, agreed with that. They are a modified form of an incline plane. So it's not a perfectly level or smooth ramp per se, but it is still an incline plane. It is a tool that allows us to walk from a lower level to a higher level. Again, if we had to climb or jump that, far more difficult. Right, so again, the goal is, if we're going to summarize it, we use them when we have to move something from a low level to a high level or vice versa, especially by hand. Here are some instances, of course, that would do that. And I'm not going to spend too much time on that slide, but give you some examples of why we would want to do that. And then we can talk about things like slope. And rather than spend too much time on these slides, and by the way, all of these slides are available as a resource in the Flipgrid when you go to the Flipgrid, which I will show you later, for your submission. So there's actually some slides I'm not sharing right now because there were videos embedded and other information embedded, but I have made all of that available to you. So you can go ahead and check out those other videos. You can check out this information because this is completely accessible to you at any time, not just quickly here in this video. I know we're moving fast, but we got so much to cover today. But we can take a look at the example of slope and notice that if we were trying to move the ball on the left up that ramp, it would probably be much harder than it would be to move the ball on the right up the ramp. However, we do notice that to do that motion on the right, to move that ball up the ramp, we'd have to move it a greater distance, right? So the length of the ramp, the hypotenuse of the triangle in this case, if we're going to get really technical and geometric, is longer, but we're spreading that force out even further, making it easier to push. Steve's getting compliments on the outfit. So now it's time to build. I know this is the moment Steve has been waiting for. Mike's probably been waiting for. We want to dive right into Minecraft because odds are you're fairly confident with either teaching or knowing about simple machines, but we wanted to ask ourselves, how can we do this in Minecraft? So that's what we're here to do. So let's dig in. Let's take a look at Minecraft and see how we can represent some of these things. And you all gave some great examples in the chat that we can utilize of how we can represent a simple machine like an incline plane in Minecraft. So Steve, what do you got in mind?
Well, I saw some great ideas in the chat, right? So I gosh, that helped. I think of roller coasters when I think Minecraft and inclined planes, quite honestly. And Mike and I have a little history with building roller coasters.
A little bit.
And I could see us maybe creating one that even goes over that whole Rube Goldberg NASEF sign. I don't know.
We have that
technology.
Cool.
Is there a letter that you could take it through?
Oh yes.
I'm a big fan of the roller coasters going through things.
We could go through the U, the bottom
Yeah,
of
totally.
the
Let's
U.
go through
Yeah,
the
there you
U.
go.
Let's start right here and go through the U. That would qualify, they say, as an inclined plane, eh?
Makes sense
Okay.
to me.
Eh? All right. Let's. So now, Mike, how should we start here?
We should start by I actually missed getting the join code, so Eric needs to go to the private chat in our streaming and give me the join code again.
You got it.
But yeah, we're definitely gonna need some rail, and we're gonna need some powered rail and some redstone torches, or
we need rail. We need redstone. You following all this, Jennifer?
This is Greek to me.
probably some redstone torches
Maybe
or
redstone
some
torches or blocks.
redstone blocks and some block to put underneath it, like as
I think we know what we like for the block, eh? Hey, Mike, should we go with a little quartz here?
little quartz.
A little block of quartz, maybe? All right. I got my inventory pretty full here. Let's see.
Kathy went and pointed out one of my favorite incline planes, and that is the log flume.
Ah,
Severe slope. Mildly dangerous slope, but just dangerous
how
enough.
about, actually, speaking of which, how about the Alpine slide?
Oh, are we getting into Action Park? You're pulling out your New Jersey roots now.
Yes, we are.
I love
Did
it.
anybody watch the
It brought back childhood memories, Steve.
yes,
It really
for
did.
me too. All right, let's see here. We're gonna start building down here.
Oh, there's the logo. That's great.
You know,
I'm working from the back, Mike, in case you hadn't noticed.
while you are doing some fancy roller coaster stuff, I'm gonna make it pretty basic.
Yeah. Well, leave Steve and I, and we'll try to do
I
this.
figured as much.
Let's
you know?
show Eric. We're gonna show Eric's screen and show him
Incline planing.
Yeah, teach us some incline planing.
Well, I wanted to focus on the notion of stairs, right? So we can model this. I love the idea of modeling scientific concepts in Minecraft. It's one of the things I really do love about Minecraft, and love the education edition for that same reason, of course. So here I've got a pillar with a height of 5 blocks, and here I've built a staircase with a height of 5 blocks. I'm going to put myself back on the ground, so I won't fly and cheat in this one as much as I'd love to fly and cheat. But if I go over here to this pillar of 5 blocks, and you know what, just to make this easier to visualize, we're going to change my camera perspective so you can see me in third person there. And I'm going to attempt to jump up that 5 blocks, which is definitely not going to happen. The amount of force that my character in this case can exert to move his body upward against gravity is not sufficient to get up those 5 blocks. It's just not happening. However, I do have enough force if we build a staircase, which is, again, just a modified incline plane. I do have to travel a greater distance, but the force is now spread out, and I can get straight to the top of that 5 blocks without issue, right? So modeling that scientific concept of the incline plane. Now, how could we utilize this in a Rube Goldberg machine, right? The concept of just stairs. A roller coaster sounds way better because, I mean, that thing is automated and it's powered and it's a roller coaster. I mean, if you gave me the option of going to work on a roller coaster, going to work on stairs, I'm going to go on the roller coaster. But there are things we can do. So, for example, you see the pig in the background is a mob, and we can spawn mobs. We can spawn creatures in our game. And there are things that creatures are attracted to. There are things they run from, like each other, depending on, right? So if we put a chicken down, an ocelot is going to chase that chicken, or a wolf is going to chase that chicken or a rabbit. But that could chase, for example, that rabbit from the bottom of the stairs to the top of the stairs. And at the top of the stairs, maybe there's a pressure plate that triggers the next event to happen. Right. So if a wolf is here and a chicken spawns in front and it chases that chicken up the stairs, the chicken hits the button and the next thing happens. In the video, the sizzle reel provided by Jennifer, we saw that turtle moving the ping pong ball slowly across, or we saw the hamster that walked across the lever, right? That then the ball rolled down when it tilted the lever over. All of those things Again, I'm reading comments. Yeah, my character is not doing any parkour yet, but again, we could add some parkour elements to our Rube Goldberg machine. And I've learned from the office that you have to yell parkour while you're doing parkour.
Parkour.
Better to do it in Minecraft, right?
That's right. But there are definitely ways to utilize those stairs, and we want to get those juices flowing in your brain. So we're going to provide some examples of these things, but maybe we're not going to show you everything to do or every imaginable possibility, because part of this challenge, of course, is to be creative. That's what these machines are about. They're truly about being creative. So how's our coaster going?
I think it's coming okay. I think Mike just made an executive decision, which was good.
As Mike is known to do.
No, never.
So I know you're probably also bothered by the fact that I went 2 wide and not like 3 wide.
No, dude, I went. Well, okay.
The problem was I was trying to stay with our symmetry up here, too. So
yeah,
I'm not even sure where you're all building. Oh my goodness, I just noticed.
All right. So now the interesting thing. Let's see. So should we go down the? Well, we'll figure it out.
pick a side. Pick
Yeah,
a
I
side
picked
for
a side.
the
I made an
thing.
executive decision
Did you? Nice.
because it'll curve around at the bottom then.
All right, Eric, you can be cameraman for a little bit
I can absolutely do that. In fact,
Well,
I'll go
I'm,
into fancy camera mode here for you.
while I'm.
And sure enough, we see.
frantically.
See, I was
going.
going to say, it looks like you've just got stairs, but now we're putting quite literally a 45-degree ramp on those stairs.
Yeah. Now I'm playing a little physics thing here. If this is the side, I'm assuming this is the side we're going to come down, and I want to see if we will be able to. We should be able to go down without needing the powered rail, but I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. One of the sides is going to need powered rail,
Yeah, that'll be the other.
and the flat space is going to need. Powered.
So what you're saying is it takes more force to go up the ramp than it does to go down the ramp.
Well, I
would like to
see
think
what
so.
I see what you're doing there, and I like it.
Okay. All right. So let me ask that next science question is, why does it take more force to go up the ramp? What are you acting against? I'm just going to keep spitting really elementary science questions out here.
You're acting against gravity.
Jennifer is in the game. You're all losing to Jennifer right now.
Why is that? Oh, that is working. Okay.
So do me a favor, guys. While you're doing this, we probably have some viewers. You all have done some amazing sessions on Minecraft that I have loved watching. I've been a part of a few of them. But what parts are you using here and why? Because some of
Actually, Mike's going to want me to do.
some of our competitors are probably very new to Minecraft.
Okay, so we're building we're building that ramp we just built with quartz. We're using rail and powered rail and redstone to power the train. It's the cart itself. So right here we have, and we'll probably switch to this. I think that's what Mike will want to do. We have basically in some form or other, we need to be able to have a source of power going to any powered rail. So we only have a few powered rails here because our goal is to truly leverage the use of the force and have the rail cart come down without needing power. But on the other side, we're going to use more powered rails to make sure we get up the incline, because that, like if you're on a roller coaster, you might notice that those you get pulled up the roller coaster because you can't get up without some help. But you also are going to get up easier with this inclined plane than you would if you were trying to climb up a tower without, I don't think you can't even really do a tower with the rail carts or whatnot.
Gotcha. And I love where Kathy is going in the chat because she has brought a whole new scientific element into this, and that is energy transformations. So if we got those teachers watching, this would also be a great way to introduce those concepts.
Pick one of the sides, Steve, and do and just replace the blocks like I'm doing here. But
What are you doing there?
We'll go up. Leave a 5 block gap so it looks good.
So, wait. So, what are you saying? Because I'm on the other side now.
Oh, you disappeared.
Yeah, I'm on this side building the up.
Oh, the rail.
Yeah.
Here, we'll do it on this side. We'll do it on the side that you started on.
I think I should be able to also do this, do our little trick like this, and use a redstone torch.
Let's see where you are. So what is this redstone torch trick? Let's take a look.
It's more of an
Yeah,
aesthetic.
like you can totally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That. So that lights the redstone without needing to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that when you put that torch under there, this piece of powered rail lit
I
up.
can do that here too. So anywhere I want to do that, it's like kind of like hiding it under here.
So that's a redstone torch, though, not a regular torch.
That
right?
is a redstone torch. It is. So how about Mike? Do you want to lay the? Yeah, that's what you're doing, right?
That's what I'm doing.
I figured. We speak the same language.
Well, don't keep all your secrets.
Well, we're going to enter this in our contest later today, aren't we?
This is
think that's
yeah.
the
We
plan.
can't like tell everybody our Rube Goldbergs. Or
Well-
should we? I guess we're teaching, right? So we
Yeah,
got
You are a little bit.
Oh, so you are doing it that way. So you don't care about the hidden.
I mean, we had talked about torches, so I put torches,
Cool.
and I have blocks, so you can see
all
you
good.
can see that you can use blocks or torches. Either one works.
Yep.
Just as well. One of the things that people should note, little hot tip, for building is that powered rails do not work. If people now, by no means do you have to use rail carts to make a Rube Goldberg machine, even though they're going to be a very useful tool for you to make them. The powered rail lines do not go around corners.
Correct.
So you have to, you'll see everywhere where there's a corner in our little thing here, it's a non-powered rail. That just won't work.
So we might be able to test out our inclined plane.
I think we're pretty much ready.
Yeah, that was a quick one.
So you did add. I wanted to not have them on this side to see if it would make it down without power. But
yeah,
it's all right.
no, it totally would.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
like you can if we break them.
Yeah. All right. So now we need a rail cart. So now
Someone mentioned that changes in energy would definitely be more severe if they were crashing into something. So maybe we want our rail car to eventually crash into something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, and
Always
maybe.
fun.
Oh gosh, I think at some point today, maybe we need to use a detector rail and some TNT or something. I don't know.
Ooh, maybe one with a chest and a hopper.
Yeah. Anybody have a Hello Kitty lying around or?
We've got motion. I'm trying to track you with the camera as we go here.
Ready? Here we go. And I'm going the wrong way. But then it's good that Mike did the other thing because here we go.
Oh no, something's wrong over here.
Let's see. Come on, go. Oh, I went through you. Almost.
You did.
We are missing a.
Now you crashed.
Yeah, because
Something
we're
is missing, right?
We need a thingy here. Now try. Oopsie.
Kathy is asking, why do you have redstone blocks next to and under the powered rail?
We don't
For
have to.
aesthetics, Teddy.
Oh, was it aesthetic? Was that aesthetic, or was that? Oh, it was.
No, it was absolutely
If
aesthetic.
Mike did it for aesthetics. Don't
Sure.
let me.
But
change that.
but it can be either or, I think, is what. they're
Yeah,
trying
and
to
it could
get at
also
here,
have
right?
been. It could have been just a torch, and it could have been. Yeah, we were showing just a few ways, I guess. Here we go.
That'll work better.
Oh, I went through the rail card. That's fancy too. Here we
But
go.
you are going up now.
Go.
We can see where
No,
those
it-
pushes are taking place.
Yeah.
too.
Whoa!
Shoddy camera work on my part.
Oof. Oh, that's right. Well, I'm just.
There's that crash. There's that crash.
There we go. But the crash. Oh,
There are lots
darn
of
it.
crashes now where we've spawned too many mine
So we
carts.
found a spot where, boof. Let's see. I think this way we're missing. Oh no, it worked that time. Oh no, it doesn't. So there you go. That's interesting. Didn't quite make it. All right. Whew. So.
I think you'll be fine now. I got rid of all of the rail carts.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Oof, oof, oof.
Going
Oh
up,
yeah,
going
no
up, going up.
problem. That's beautiful. Whoa!
Up. And down we go.
Yeah, perfect. Nailed it.
We won. We won. We
Yeah,
win the
we're
Ru- we win the Rube Goldberg incline plane contest.
Dan, what do you think? Did they win? My stairs were pretty good.
I'm so amazed at this. It's incredible.
I have to admit, we started simple. We started with incline planes. It is relatively, I don't want to say easy because the adults sure don't seem to know how to do it, but the kids do. It's relatively easy to do an incline plane, especially with something like rail, because it's one of the few things in the game that does this nice 45-degree incline, up. There are no pulleys in Minecraft. They don't exist. So we're going to have to figure out how to represent what it is a pulley does and the action of a pulley, let's say, in a Minecraft world. So that's why we want to go through our slide deck to see what pulleys do. Pulleys are used, of course, for the most part. It's not their only use, but to lift heavy objects, right? But not specifically to lift heavy objects. So we know that an inclined plane last week spread out the amount of force needed to move a object up a distance, right? That was the purpose of the inclined plane. By spreading out the amount of force, it made it easier to do over a longer distance. A pulley, especially a single pulley like this one, doesn't actually decrease the amount of force needed at all. Instead, what it does is change the direction of the force, because pulling down on a rope to lift something up allows us to put our weight into it. It's an easier than lifting or pushing something up over our heads, and of course could help us to lift it higher as we pull more and more rope. So what a pulley really does is change direction up or down, in this particular case, in the setup we're looking at in this shot. So it's less a change in force and more a change in direction. We apply a force down and we get a force going up on the opposite side of the pulley. There is a video in this one, just like last one. And of course, just like the last time, this will be attached to the Flipgrid. And I will show you where that is. So we're not going to watch that video right now, but you're welcome to share that with your class or share that with your team. Watch that as a student if that helps you out. So again, pulley is a simple machine used to change the direction you have to apply a force. The more pulleys you put together, that is when we change that distance and make it spread out and easier to move. And you'll see some of those setups today. But ultimately, this is what a pulley is. Just like another simple machine we'll talk about in the coming weeks, it is a wheel and axle. My wheel got a little wonky there, didn't it? And a rope, or it could be a chain or any kind of length of material that wraps around that wheel and allows us to change the direction in which we're pulling or pushing. Right, and here we see an example of that. So if our force is pushing down, on this side, our load is moving up. We get a change in direction. So let's talk about examples, because this is going to be kind of what we have to figure out how to represent. So I'm going to throw it to the chat just like we did last time. In the chat, what were some examples of places where you might find a pulley in action? Let's throw that into the chat. We've got construction equipment like cranes that absolutely use pulleys. On a boat to raise or lower sails, to change the direction of the mast. You'll find things like pulleys, of course, there. And sure enough, here we're seeing the top of the elevator and the pulley system that's causing that elevator to go up or down. So those are some examples we're going to think about as we move into our Minecraft world, because there is no pulley. So the question is, can we still design things that function this way in Minecraft? Right? So again, lifting in this method where we're pulling up, again, this poor guy's hurting his back. But if we change that direction, now we're pulling down, a more natural position for us, not to mention we're doing a little bit less to fight our own weight with gravity. And now we could use our weight and use gravity to kind of lean into that or pull that rope a little harder and lift that object up. Here are some examples of pulleys. We will not get into those, but again, this slide deck is available to you, and we'll share some examples of those. So here is an example of some of those pulleys. So at the top, the ones that would be mounted, let's say, to the ceiling in this example would be the fixed pulleys. The ones mounted to the top of the crate, or in that elevator picture we saw, would be movable pulleys because they're moving with the object. And that whole system creates what we would call a compound or compound pulley system. So in this case, there's 5 pulleys. And if you think about this, as we add more pulleys, we would have to pull this rope a much greater distance in order to get this crate to lift up a much shorter distance. But again, just like with our inclined plane, we are spreading out that force. So it's making the job, it's making the amount of work easier, right? Still the same amount of work, but we're spreading it out. It's making the job easier. Right? So again, with compound pulleys, the more pulleys we add, the easier it is to move. We reduce the amount of effort needed, but we would be moving the object more slowly, a shorter distance, and we would need to pull more rope in order to do it. But it would be easier to pull. So that is our very, very brief overview of pulleys. But our question at the end of this slide deck is a little different than last time. Because while I've seen some interesting mods, admittedly, in Java and things like that, pulleys don't kind of exist in our basic game in Minecraft, in any of the versions for that matter, unless it is a mod. So how can we represent what pulleys do in Minecraft without any pulleys? So that's our big question, right? That's our huge question today. And that's going to, of course, bring us into Minecraft.
Yay.
You're like, we came here just for this.
Come on. Let's play.
That's right. That's right. So I can see that Steve is already in our world, and Mike, I think BT Student 2 is you.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you. All right, so you're already in here. So this is the same world we worked in last time.
Yeah, I went up and down the bubble. A bubble elevator has been created.
Yeah, so we were looking at this last time, and we said, it's just pure coincidence, really, because we thought of it on a whim last time that we created this in the air. So we were like, how can we add something like an elevator to this? Well, good thing it's up high, because now we'd need an elevator, or admittedly another inclined plane. And one of the easiest ways to do that in Minecraft is with bubble elevators. And here we have some examples of them, which really are just columns of water with an interesting kind of modification to each column. Let's see if we have someone. Is there someone down here that can? Steve is going in. So there's Steve going up our bubble elevator. And the cool thing is, though, even though he's in a column of water, the cool thing about the bubble elevator is you don't drown in the bubble elevator. I guess it's because of the bubbles. Right? And now down the down elevator. And there he goes. So let's talk about how to make this. Right? So we're going to kind of run through making another one of these, because we notice this one's on the back end. So we can kind of walk through this process. And I'm sure many of our students know how to do these, but we'll do some modification to them on the front end over here. So for anyone who's played Minecraft before, and I wanted to share this kind of fun little trick. There's a million tricks in Minecraft. I learn more of them from students than they ever learn from me, ever. But I like this fun trick, right? So it is significantly easier to build up than it is to build down, right? I can kind of spam blocks moving my character upward very easily and build a tower going upward. It's a little bit more challenging going downward. Mike, I don't know if you know a strategy that makes it easier going downward, but I have found it's always easier upward for me.
Wondering if I can just, so you usually can't build like place blocks as fast as you're going down while holding shift. So
yeah, I have that literally. That's always the issue. Like it'll start okay, and then I just break the chain, and then I have to go back to where I missed a gap and it start all over.
Yeah.
So I was thinking the other day, like, how do I figure out? I mean, I could kind of come here and fly straight down and land in the exact spot and then build up from there. And then it kind of hit me. There are some materials in the game that are affected by gravity, like sand. And if I just come up underneath where I wanted to start this bubble tower, so we made two kind of squares out of glass where we want our towers to end at the top. If I just come to them with sand and make that same thing underneath, you'll notice they're falling
Well played.
And if I look straight down, that's my build spot right there.
I had never thought of that.
It hit me like literally yesterday. And I was like, I have been doing this the hard way for so long. And now I'll never do it any other way. Like, this is so
Wow.
much better.
Very cool. You
And
can do
there's got to be someone who knew that. Like, I can't be the first person to figure that out. There's no way.
so the other material would be concrete,
now you can-
concrete powder.
Yeah,
Would-
any
would
of
be
the
the same thing.
granular materials tend to be affected by gravity. Yeah. And now, of course, we see Steve massively and rapidly spamming blocks upward like it's no big deal. So we're going to help him with that real fast. Now, Mike, this is something I learned from you, admittedly. As we build these two columns and we put our water in, we don't actually need anything to go up and down those elevators. We can just swim up the column of water or swim down the column of water, but that's not automated, which means if we put something in that elevator, like a mob, for example, we take a cat and put it in the elevator, the cat's not going to go up or down because the cat's not going to go where we want it to go. It's not going to swim up or down. And I'm pretty sure it was you who taught me how to make that more automated. But in Minecraft, a lot of those simple machines that we would use don't exist. So if we want something to get carried upward, the way an elevator would work in the real world or a pulley would work in the real world, we have to be creative. We have to think of other ways to do it. So does this work functionally the way a pulley does? No. But does it represent what pulleys can do? Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Even more
we
creative.
kind of. Sorry, yeah, we kind of racked our brains a little bit trying to think of a way to move. Minecraft doesn't have the same physics that other games have, so you can like build a bunch of blocks in the air and then break the blocks below them, and that one block in the air that was above everything will still stay exactly where it was. It's how you build giant signs in the air, right, that aren't supported by anything. And the main kind of actor in pulleys is a sense of like this force.
Movement, right?
Yeah, and there's none of that in Minecraft. So now, for the purpose of making a Rube Goldberg machine, though, a water elevator is actually a pretty slick way to do some pretty interesting things.
Yeah, this cow already is interested. So.
Yes, he is.
We should definitely find a way to get that cow up there.
I was going to say, I don't really want to like beat up the cow on a live stream, but
No, I do. I don't have
you too.
I don't have any problems with that. So yeah, there is an aspect of this that a lot of people don't know, or how to do this properly. So I'm gonna switch to my screen here.
Yeah, Steve, I was going to say you're the best person to walk us through this one.
So you can see that in this bubble elevator that we've already made, and actually this is the first time I've seen someone use the stairs as chevrons as indicators for up and down. That was very
I pat myself on the back for that one.
very clever. I was very impressed with that. So if you look in the elevator, though, what you see is there are actual bubbles in the elevator, and you can see that on this side they're going up, and you can see on this side they're going down. And that is caused by there's a game mechanic that's causing that to happen. You can see at the bottom of the bubble elevator on this side, in the down side, there is a magma block. Okay. And on this side, on the up, there is a block of soul sand. So when you are when you're building a bubble elevator, you can put a magma block at the bottom of the down, and you put a soul sand block at the bottom of the up, and it will push you all the way to the top. So I'm going to go through this door, and I'm going to just stand in here, and I'm not touching it. I'm not doing anything. And the bubbles push you straight up into through the elevator. And when you open the door and you go down this water column, the bubbles push you straight down the bubble elevator. The other thing to add to this is mostly for survival purposes, or if you're playing Minecraft hardcore or survival mode, is that you actually don't lose your breath in the water as well. So not only are you oh, come on over here, pig. I should get a lead and like see
You know
if
what?
that
Just
works.
use an egg spawn, and you can spawn a pig in there. You think
Oh,
you can
what
convince him?
Oh,
so
you almost went right in there. That's funny.
Go with an egg spawn.
Have you done this? Have you tested?
Do a spawn. Just type spawn and pick an animal. Yeah, I have, and it'll definitely work. You want to do the zombie one or the? So send him up.
Oh.
There he goes.
That's awesome. Very cool. And then the pig up the elevator.
Let's see if he can figure out the door, though. Oh boy.
Yeah, this one doesn't have a.
No, you're gonna have to go through the elevator and help him out.
That's funny. So. Yeah, that's super cool. So yeah, you don't lose breath in a bubble elevator,
Right.
which makes it a super convenient way to get up and down places.
Yeah. So one of the tricks to the build, and I don't know if you want to switch back to mine, is that when you're creating the column of water, you have to, and this is kind of required. And I'll tell you what, this will be our up one. Well, I did the up on this side. Let's do the up on that same. Let's keep them the same. So this will be our down elevator, let's say. So we're going to use a magma block. You have to place a block of water at every single point up the column. So you can't just put it at the top and have it fill as it flows down. That doesn't work. You have to have a block of water at every single point.
Actually,
wait, am I wrong?
I am not 100% sure that that's accurate in Education Edition. I believe that rule, I believe, only applies to Java. I am not 100% certain on that, but we can actually test this.
Do you want to test it on the other column?
Yeah, exactly. So on the other column,
it's working here because the bubbles.
Yeah,
I can see the bubbles kind of forming as I do it, and if there were no bubbles, I would know that that's not making contact with that magma block.
Right. So Steve, go ahead and put a soul sand block in the bottom of the other side. And
there's going to be some water falling on you a second, but it should disappear.
If I do water bucket.
So Steve is doing, so you'll notice this is the down one over here, and that's magma. So the up should be soul sand, right?
Yeah.
Soul sand
so
is the one that makes the up.
I'm gonna drop water. I'm gonna drop water down.
Okay, we're watching. And let's see if it triggers or not.
I think.
We've got someone who's saying that it is also a requirement in Bedrock, and you know what? I'm not seeing any bubbles. Not a single bubble is forming.
Oh, give it a minute.
I wasn't sure either, to be honest, and you had me swayed there for a second.
Interesting.
Yeah, I see no bubbles.
Oh, wait.
Don't get me wrong. I wish that was the case. That would have made our job a lot easier. All right, so let's go ahead and fill that. Yeah, see, now I can see bubbles, but they are stopping. Well, hold on. What happens if you do that? Is it working the rest of the way? It is. So you only needed to kind of clean up the bottom.
Yeah. I was in a personal world that I play with my family. We built a bubble elevator and discovered that I'm not sure the same rule applies in the same way in Education Edition.
Right. So that's the fundamentals of the build. I added, of course, the design and using frames and stairs to make the up and down arrows, added iron doors and pressure plates to make the doors so that the water doesn't escape too much. But it'll work basically like this. The challenge for the students this week or over the next 10 days is to not build a pulley, but to represent a pulley. And that is a tough challenge. So this is one way it can be done. And I'm convinced that students probably know a dozen other ways that we're not 100% on, or maybe we're not that great at. Things like piston elevators, for example, come to mind. I am not good at piston elevators, but there are some people who I've seen build unreal piston elevators. Not to mention, if there was a way to do it with leads, I sure don't know that way. All I've gotten to do so far with leads is to get sheep to dangle from a tree. It sure looks like a pulley, but it definitely doesn't work like a pulley. And one of my students even was feeling really bad for the sheep and went and saved the sheep when I did it. So,
That's
I mean, I could demonstrate that, and it's. Should we demonstrate that?
Aw.
Well, again, I feel like maybe there's a way to utilize the fact that leads only helps if you spell it right.
Could you drop a sheep from a lead onto something?
That's what I'm wondering. So maybe there's a functionality they can come up with, because the only thing I'm aware of that leads connect to, if I'm not mistaken, are mobs and fence posts. I could be wrong. There could be, and slime.
And slime.
And slime.
That's pretty
Forgot
cool.
about the slime. Right? So if I make a sheep and I put him on a lead, and now I can fly him up here. Hopefully this doesn't drop him when I switch my hand. I think I'm going to drop him. You know what? I need to put him back down for a second. Oh, no, I still got him. Let's see if we can. I know I'm dangling this poor sheep. I'm going to dangle him over here by the elevator.
Yeah, it bounces.
He sure does. We'll make a fence post and we'll attach him there, and we could put another one on the other side and make it look like a pulley, but it definitely doesn't function like a pulley. I could have put a different animal. Come on, fall down. There you go.
Oh boy.
Oh, I think I lost my sheep. Oh yeah, he's down in the water.
That's better anyways.
You know what? Let's compare him to this pig over here. How about that?
Yeah, pulleys are pretty difficult to replicate in Minecraft. There's your pig and sheep dangling from.
Well, part of that, and we're going to come up with another struggle that maybe students can start brainstorming right now, is they'll realize that this simple machine kind of works the same way as another simple machine, which is our wheel and axle, which is another conversation we're going to have is how do we represent a wheel and axle in this game when there aren't any wheels? Something.
My wheels are spinning.
Right?
My wheels are spinning.
Yeah. See, this is a very sad animal pulley. They're looking at each other very confused, but
It's not
right,
no animals.
My first thought was let's do something with leads, and then I was like, you know what? Once I was like, an elevator is a good real world use of a pulley. We can definitely do some fantastically functional elevators that we could absolutely add as a lift or a lowering mechanism as part of a Rube Goldberg machine.